You can really tell that we're entering the final act of One Piece with all the absolutely huge things that we're learning in the last few chapters. Emu, or Eem, I don't really know, I'm gonna go with Eem. Pronouncing the name Emu makes me think of the animal. Side note, you ever hear the noise these things make? Oh. Holy shit, 15 seconds into the video and we're already sidetracked. That's a new record for me. Eem is the hot topic lately, and I'd like to throw my straw hat into the ring, if you will. Of D. My god. Kill me. Here's a quick recap for you. In the last few chapters, we learned more about Cobra, the recently assassinated former ruler of Alabasta. In his last moments, he visited the Gorosei, asking them about his ancestor Lily from 800 years ago. And of course, we know 800 years ago is right around the time of the establishment of the world government and the Void Century. He mentioned that Lily didn't want to become a celestial dragon, and when she went to go home to Alabasta, turns out she never made it home. He also mentioned the will of D, and she left behind a letter that has been passed down from generation to generation. And finally, Eem came out, which is absolutely wild since no one in the world should know of Eem's existence. Eem plops down on the empty throne and just says, Lily. Whew, there's a lot to unpack there. Immediately, I started seeing people online saying that obviously Eem is Lily. And hey, sure, maybe.
You know, that's just like, your opinion, man.
I don't know, I'll be so real here. I just don't like the whole Lily is Eem theory. I don't dig the idea that all the original rulers laid down their swords at the throne and then Lily was like, oh nah, I'm gonna be the big cheese here. Like Cobra and Vivi's ancestor was some sort of maniacal, evil dictator, it just doesn't fly with me. From everything we've seen with Alabasta, and specifically the Nefertari family, they don't really seem thematically like power-hungry evil types. Of course, Lily is a different person from a different era, she's different from Cobra, she's different from Vivi, and we basically know nothing about her. But before we go too far out into the rainbow mist with speculation here, we gotta put two facts into focus. One important thing is we actually don't know how old Eem is. It is heavily speculated by the fanbase that Eem is this immortal being from the Void Century, but it hasn't been confirmed in any way, shape, or form. So like a tontada in the grocery store trying to get the cereal on the top shelf, if you're saying Eem is hundreds or thousands of years old, you're reaching. Something I want to mention here is from the first time I saw Eem, I always put Eem and time travel or time manipulation together in the same basket, because Eem is often depicted interacting with butterflies. And of course, butterflies represent time shenanigans all over media. But going back to our facts here, one thing we definitely do know is that the Gorosei refer to the Nefertaris as traitors. In chapter 908, we saw Eem with photos of Luffy, Blackbeard, Shirahoshi, and Vivi. Clearly these four are all tied to Eem in some sort of way. Interesting to think about that in the context of the world government sigil too, each of the four on a point and Eem in the middle. All roads lead to Eem, narratively speaking. Plus there's 4 C's and 4 road poneglyphs that lead to the One Piece. A lot of 4s. But what does it all mean? I don't know, I kinda just like making these videos because I don't have enough friends who follow One Piece in real life, so you guys are gonna have to fill the void in my life. By the way, there's already 50 of you guys, that's pretty crazy. I really appreciate you all coming aboard, and I sure hope you brought along your hopes and dreams. Alright, I'll stop. If Lily became Eem during some sort of power grab situation, why would she have left this letter behind? Wouldn't that letter potentially expose massive secrets to future generations? And with the way Cobra was talking to the Gorosei, it's at the very least heavily implied that the letter mentions the will of D. If that's the case, it seems like Lily was working against Eem. Otherwise, wouldn't this letter just serve as something that'll inevitably blow up in Lily Eem's face? It's time for a series of what ifs. What if Lily was an unrequited love interest of Eem? When she refused to become a celestial dragon along with the original 20 rulers, Eem and the others imprisoned her. And what if during her imprisonment they forced her to eat the op fruit and perform the perpetual youth surgery on Eem? This might be the film geek in me, but I find it extremely hard to believe that they'll introduce a hidden power like that and never use it in the entire story. And if the implication here is that at the very least Eem knows who Lily is, that would make Eem old as fuck. And going back to what I said before, that picture of Vivi was probably really special to Eem because it reminded Eem of an old flame. Another important thing to remember is what Dofi said back in chapter 761. The op fruit can transplant people's personalities. With all that in mind, it's also possible that Lily's body could be a sort of vessel for Eem, and maybe Eem is looking for an upgrade. Hence Vivi kind of looks appealing, right? She is, after all, the newer, updated model of Lily. And to keep things going here, we know Oda loves full circle moments in One Piece. So what if Cobra's meeting with the Gorosei and Im is a mirror of Lily's? Lily's time with Im ultimately led to her demise, and it's the same deal now with Cobra. All that said, this shifts the focus to Vivi and the future of the Nefertari line. I think it's safe to say the Nefertaris are at least D-clan adjacent. Perhaps Lily was involved with Joy Boy. Lily could have been Nefertari D-Lily for all we know right now. I think stock in Vivi joining the crew is about to go way up. It's a safe bet to assume Im had something to do with Cobra's death, so now Vivi has the perfect grudge to want to go against the world government. The only problem is her dedication to Alabasta. It's the whole reason she didn't join the crew in the first place. With Lily's letter being passed down, with the talk of the will of D, with the recent context of the erasure of Lelouch, and of course the abundant reminders of what happened to O'Hara, what if Alabasta Kingdom is Im's next target? If Alabasta's gone, Vivi's family is gone, there's really only one family left she can turn to. And what better Nakama to align with to topple such an oppressive force? Man, that would have been a really good ending for the video, but I have two other thoughts here and I didn't know where to put them, so yeah, here they are. Someone else we should be thinking about when it comes to Im's identity is Rox. After all, his ambition was to be the king of the world. But that is just wild speculation on my part. Don't go saying that like it's fact. Also, tons of people have been pointing out how small Im looks on the throne. Well, check out Rox in this silhouette. He do be looking kind of small there. Yeah, he's next to Whitebeard and Kaido and Big Mom, so he's probably just regular size, but still. I am definitely a fan of the Amazon-Lily connection. We might be leaping into conclusions there a little bit, but hey, the name works. You got mad people named after flowers there too. And of course, boa, cobra, snakes. There's a snake theme, everybody has snakes. There is definitely something there. It's way too much of a coincidence. That's what's on my mind, but I'd love to hear what's on yours. Give me your crazy theories. Let me know in the comments below. Until the next video, ahoy.